Hello everybody, welcome to the 42nd episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast, the show where we talk about fashion, FIDE, life. My name is Gustafsson and I'm delighted to be joined by chess grandmaster Peter Heine Nielsen. Peter, how are you today?
Generally very good. My mother is feeling much better, but I'm still here in Denmark now, joined by my family. But things are sort of improving a lot. So today we held like a small birthday party for my 5-year-old kid. Well, his birthday was like 2 months ago, but we hold a Danish birthday like this. So basically, I'm in great mood, and we are heading back to Lithuania soon. But basically, very positive news on the private front. So all good. Thanks.
Beautiful. There's no golfing and thinking about chess openings for Magnus. You have to like live up to a certain standard.
Yeah, no. Actually, I just tried to keep it positive for once. But I was golfing a lot at the start of the week. But I golfed too much. It was wet. I got a cold. All these kind of things. So basically, I've been ill. But so that meant I couldn't prepare at my usual speed. But some I did. But yeah, so that part was not so great. But golf. As I said, I can make anything into a golf holiday. So even private visits like this. So, but certainly, yeah.
Sounds good overall. In Paris, we have our French chess scene correspondent, a man who's very tired today. He's been registering all day and still managed to join us. Monsieur Fressinet, how are you today?
Hi. I think you forgot to mention, you're a great host, but you forgot to mention it could be the last episode of the
It probably is the last.
I think we should keep on mentioning it every time, and at some point it will be true.
But I thought that this trick would work, like a rock band announcing their retirement tour and then going on another tour a year later. But somehow we haven't tricked anybody with it. Yeah. We might quit any moment. It's not a joke.
Yeah, so life is good. I have been recording videos. Of course, I was updating you on the wrong topic. So in French, about Magnus matches, actually. In a way, we used to do it at my place, but in a better way because I'm the only one to speak and I don't get cut by Peter. So that's nice in a way. And
so basically, you're ripping up our old videos and selling them in French on your own?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No.
So you're doing what I'm doing with the Marshall, yeah? You just sell the history of these matches for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
Every language?
Yeah, I'm showing the games. And I don't think we did it for Chennai, actually. You are not there, actually. So I did for Chennai, actually.
This one, it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, this one is okay, yeah? Okay. But, it's different content because I'm on my own. So, yeah.
Worse content.
Yeah, exactly. It's less content. But
it's better content.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
I can't wait.
So yeah, you will brush up your French.
Yeah.
Pas de problème.
You will get a free copy of that. And
Ici, Magnus a joué Roi de 8.
Roi de 8, yes. Yeah, fantastic. This week I will be commenting on this Chess League in French as well. So, I will know everything about the games because you keep on complaining that I'm not updating my knowledge about the chess world every week.
No, we keep complaining you're not preparing for the podcast and then randomly bringing up random positions on move 62 in some random game. Very different complaints. We know you're a diligent follower of the chess games when you're paid to commentate them.
Even when I'm not paid to commentate them, I'm checking them, and sometimes live even. And sometimes I'm watching you with Peter.
Wow.
We're Leko.
Yeah. No one watches Twitter.
No, I meant Nielsen. Peter Heine.
I don't think me and Jan has done commentary together, but I also have a confession. I actually listened for several hours to Jan commenting on recently. So it's...
Was good?
Yeah, I was enjoying it, I have to admit. It was when I was...
So how is life, Jan?
Yeah, we should talk... How is your life, indeed?
Yeah, we should ask. Because then you will complain that we
Jan actually looks fresh and in great shape. So what's the story?
I'm fresh and in great shape. In Hamburg for a couple of days, going to the beautiful city of Dusseldorf on whatever day I'm going, Wednesday, I guess, to work for your dear friend Anish in the WR Masters. Other than that, not much happened. It's all been a blur. The Champions Chess Tour is over. I'm here doing random things, trying to look fresh, but don't have much to tell. I don't have any hobbies. Like I go to the gym. That's my golfing, but it doesn't take 6 hours a day, so it doesn't fill that much time.
What do you do then?
I just
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
I work very hard.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that was that. See you guys next week.
So what's the big? Actually, I think you got a point. I didn't know, and I didn't even notice in the great paper we got from our producer. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, I didn't know that Giri was playing next week. Is Nepo or is this? It's a German tournament.
Yes, it's in Dusseldorf, as he just mentioned.
Yeah,
So it's a new tournament. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure Peter can fill us in later.
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
All the details.
Yeah.
It's Nepomniachtchi, Giri, So, Levon, and a bunch of kids.
It's rapid?
No, it's
classic.
a tournament.
They are playing it with the exact same time control as they do in the World Championship match to prepare Nepomniachtchi. You're really not following much, no?
No, but it's been announced very, very recently, no?
Yeah, maybe half a year
Yeah,
ago.
like a year ago, and maybe half a year. Anyway, no Alireza, no Maxime, no Magnus. Why would you have heard of it?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to Alireza, no worries. But yeah, I'll be going there. But let's start with what happened in the fantastic chess world last week. Magnus Carlsen won the Champions Chess Tour, the first division. It was this new double elimination format, which we've spent hours in the past trying to figure out. It's not that hard, really. I now figured you lose 2 matches, you're out. You don't lose 2 matches, you're not out. Magnus didn't lose a single match. And it felt, I think he mentioned that, it felt a bit anticlimactic somehow. Like he beat Sarana, he beat Erigaisi. Then he won against Nakamura twice, and the tournament was over. Like for him, it wasn't that much action, was it?
No. I mean, well, it's like you beat Nakamura in the semifinal, and then 2 days later you beat Nakamura in the final, right? That feels a bit awkward in a way, but it was also interesting. I thought, I don't know if we're going to jump straight to the highlight of the tournament, sort of bidding for the Armageddon game, or we're also talking about some chess things
Yeah,
first.
that was just brilliant.
Yeah, that probably was the highlight in the semifinal match, if we can call it that, or the winner's final. The players were tied 2-2 after 4 exciting games. And they have this new format for the Armageddon where white gets 50 minutes and black can bid how much time he would like to play black. Black has draw odds, so black with a draw wins the match. And Nakamura bid 8 minutes, 59 seconds. Magnus Carlsen bid 8 minutes, 58 seconds to get the black pieces. That was...
And guess what?
That was nice.
Guess what was the result? I mean, after such a bid, transactions, I mean, how can you even play the game? I mean, you should just resign, actually.
Well, he got into quite some trouble, actually.
Yeah, no, of course, but I mean, it's so brilliant to make it 1 second less.
It basically gives the understanding that they both, seem to know that the exact cutoff is just below 9 minutes, but it can't be. I mean, it must be.
I mean, it's 9 minutes, and actually, they both think it's 9 minutes, but Naka thought he was being clever by making 8:59, and Magnus understood all of that and was bidding 8:58. Yeah.
Had Naka been bidding 8:59 in previous games, or did Magnus just read his mind?
No, he didn't bid. No, yeah, he was just reading his mind now.
Okay, no.
He did a different bid, yeah.
That is... No, I mean...
It looks like that number might drop a bit in the future, no? When we were debating it on air, we also thought 9 minutes is probably the cutoff, and then, it was still brilliant, but the numbers themselves, or the proximity, weren't that surprising. But later in the tournament, we saw Nakamura go with, 820 or even 805 against Wesley So. I think it was 805 was 820. Seems like players really value the black pieces.
I mean, back in the days, sort of, they were debating 6-5 or 5-4, and there it was a bit unclear. So, so basically, let's say 5-4. It's better to have for black to have 15 minutes versus 8 than to have 5 minutes versus 4. It's simply this extra time matters a lot.
But it's different, because back in the day, it was mainly over the board where you also have to press the clock, and then with 4 minutes, you're in a much bigger risk of getting flagged in the end, while having 8 minutes online. I mean, all these guys are good at bullet. They can make hundreds of pre-moves. I think it's...
So basically, you're saying that this is still kind of rapid, so this extra theoretical half point matters much more than in World Cup Armageddon games.
Because you don't lose on time.
First of all, you have more time. And secondly, you just don't lose on time so easily as over the board, I think.
Yeah, if you have 30 seconds in over the board game, you're screwed. While online, I mean, look at this guy. Again, this guy Penguin Andrew Tang. I mean, he can play 5 games.
But you're basically saying you think they might even some point start bidding less than 7.5 minutes. So basically going for half the time?
I don't know where the cutoff will be. And usually with these things, it takes so long until we have a half decent sample size and results. So I don't know. I would guess less than 8 is going to be tough. But so far the results have been in black's favor. Therefore, who knows where it's going to go. But it's sort of a fun thing to think about. And because it's also, of course, opponent and sort of maybe match specific, like, okay, if you don't have any ideas with white or you get blocked in the Berlin or whatever they've been playing, then you're a little more tempted with black if you're not under pressure there. Well, if you're suffering with black, it could be different. So I think it's different in every situation. But it's a fun little wrinkle, and this 858 bid was, of course, epic.
Yeah, no, that was just so funny.
But, the first division started with Magnus beating Sarana. That actually we covered in the last podcast, right? So the quarterfinals was Magnus beat Erigaisi and Nakamura beat So in Armageddon, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Magnus' win was rather comfortable against Erigaisi, or am I getting it wrong?
We probably also covered that last week, but
really?
I don't recall him being in big danger. I'm not sure, actually. No, maybe we were at the start. Yeah, overall, his win felt comfortable throughout the event. Like this semi-final against Nakamura was probably the closest spot where he had 2 good positions in the first 2 games, couldn't win any of those. And I don't know, maybe, do you think this legend, which is not a legend because he shows it every game, but Nakamura at some point he seemed to be able to just survive any position. Like, do you think he's in people's heads? Like, it doesn't matter if you have a good position, +1 is nothing. It's still chess. What's going on there?
This was very impressive by Nakamura. I thought that he was generally getting completely outplayed, or considerably outplayed in the first 2 games, but he still managed to hang in there. That is very impressive. I think he's just very good at it. I mean, he's very, very impressive in that phase. I mean,
he's just amazingly resourceful and asking one more question all the time. It's just a skill. He has this for a very long time. And in Blitz, you have to be good at, you always get bad positions. So good Blitz players are good at escaping simply.
No, of course he's amazing at it. I would just think if you have a -1 or -2 position against Magnus Carlsen in a rapid game, you're normally toast. No, and somehow even there he often manages to come back. So it's
but also,
it is impressive.
I mean, he obviously has the belief that he has a chance, right? Others would be depressed in this situation, but he's not.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought that momentum was not good for Magnus going into Armageddon in that sense, right? The first 2 games he was outplaying him, then I forgot maybe not much happened in the next 2 games, right? And maybe Nakamura basically forced a draw in a better position, but it was hanging on one specific tactic, maybe. But
that line wasn't in my martial course.
No. It's unserious. He doesn't see such courses, or maybe remember them. But what do you want to say? But then the Armageddon game happened, and Magnus managed after all, right? But to say that he was just cruising there is a bit much. I thought that he was much better chess-wise in the first 2 games, but then didn't manage, and that will be a very typical way for Nakamura to win, right? That he's well, you can't be the strongest chess player against Magnus. That's too difficult. But somehow, if you survive, then Nakamura before has tipped it in his favor. But at least Magnus managed to stop that.
Yeah, it's all part of the game. And to come back to Nakamura's resilience, he also mentioned that I think that he feels the biggest change in his game is that he just keeps playing and doesn't give up in bad positions. But yeah, it's still impressive how consistently he manages
but also,
to get away with.
I mean, Nakamura seems basically like Germany in football, right? I mean, they just saw confidence that he will win the penalty kicks, right? I mean, he just, also with Wesley So, he went straight for Armageddon and won. And with Magnus also, he just thought, okay, let me get to Armageddon. He must be extremely confident that Armageddon just favors him equity-wise, right?
I don't understand the analogy, because for penalties, you have to make it past the qualifying stage, no? So.
yeah. No, well, I mean, it's a fair point, yeah. Not theoretically not, but yeah, I get. I mean, well, back when I was a kid, Germany was known for winning. I understand that this has massively changed. Sorry for bringing it up, Jan. My apologies.
Okay. You should apologize to me. I mean, we lost penalties.
You lost penalties. Yeah. This was actually like a good.
we always lose penalties.
It's a brilliant double attack had it only been intentional. But no, well, back to the chess point. Nakamura just, I mean, seems to go straight for Armageddon, right? Like, is he really that big?
His confidence is.
Yeah. He just thinks it's the right strategy. That's it. I mean,
it usually works, no? Like against Wesley, okay, he was under some pressure in, I think, the first black game. But then with White, he just went straight for the Berlin draw in the fourth game and thought Armageddon is a better shot.
But is it really, I mean, you have White. Why not try to push for a risk-free thing? I mean, well, it becomes the Magnus versus Kayakin thing from the 2016 match. But Magnus knew he had 4 games. I mean, is it really too risky for Naka to play with White against... Wesley, compared to taking an Armageddon game? I don't fully grasp it, but it seems like he's right. At least he seemed to believe it.
Yeah, it's a bit unclear to me as well why playing mathematically, why playing a White game where your opponent doesn't have draw odds is worse than playing one where he has draw odds with more time. But I think it's just a mental thing. He's confident there. He's happy to go for it. People know he's happy to go for it.
No, it's a good point. You're basically bullying them, saying, okay, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to take to Armageddon and beat you. And, you're showing that you're so confident. Maybe that's actually how it's done. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, my impression was the same than yours, Jan. I thought Magnus won quite convincingly. Everyone lost a couple of matches while he didn't. He won all of them. So you cannot really argue with that. And, he keeps on cruising on this internet, these online events. I mean, last year in the Champion Chess Tour, I think he won all of them except one. In this speed chess, he lost to Naka. But, I mean, when he loses, it's always very, very rare. So yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I also the feeling it was more than once, but
yeah, I know for sure because I traveled with him twice and he didn't win any of them. So I mean, I'm sure about that one.
Okay,
that's the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So he won 7 out of 9 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, to my standard, it's winning all the time.
Okay, so thanks for your contribution, Laurent. Magnus good. I did the math for I didn't do the math, I can't do math, but for these finals, since he hadn't lost any match, and then if we say he's, let's say, a 60-40 favorite against Nakamura, which I'm not sure if that's fair or not, could be more, then Nakamura, that would mean, has a 0.16% chance of winning, no? Because Magnus has this free roll in the first match and then the second match. So it felt a bit anticlimactic if Magnus just wins everything, because it felt so unlikely he would not match.
60-40.
Okay, like I said, I'm just making up numbers. I mean, if you call it whatever, 70-30, the number isn't going to improve. But even if you say 60-40, he's going to score 84%.
I think it's more. I mean, 4 rapid games, why it would be 60-40?
Well, their match in this Carlsen chess tour, the first one, was pretty close, no? I mean,
yeah, I was very surprised actually. So maybe I'm just wrong with the evaluation. Yeah, no, it reminds me of this odds people were giving before the Nepo Magnus match. what does it say, 55, 60, 40. But we thought it was more, no?
I think people also always say it a bit to be respectful to the opponent, and he has a good score and so on. But yeah, he has won all these matches, not convincingly, but it's not like, yeah, very hard to say. Against Kayakin, it was probably 80-20, and it came incredibly close. So who knows?
I know that's true.
Yeah, I mean, well, I agree fully with your math. Maybe it's a bit more than 60, but also, well, that could again. I mean, if we talk psychology, if you lose the first one, you could lose the next one. I mean, Magnus had bad days before, so there could be some kind of that it's not two completely sort of separate events in that way. But generally, of course, also I thought that he's a major favorite, and I agree with your point that it becomes a bit of an anticlimax. That it's not. I mean, Magnus was never in a situation where he could actually be knocked out, right? While him winning always looked very favorable in a way.
Yeah, it could be very exciting too if, let's say, we reverse it, or Magnus has to win 2 matches back to back to make it there. I mean, I think the format in general is fine. He's just too dominant, as Laurent pointed out. Yeah,
well, let's reverse it. Magnus loses the Armageddon game to Naka, right? Then he has to beat So and has to beat Naka twice. Well, he's probably an underdog to win, but then it will be pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I generally like the format despite being some complicated. Well, it's clear that the format favors the best player, which is Magnus. I wouldn't.
Let's resign. Let's tell him to resign the first match.
Yeah, maybe we will try that,
and then make it more interesting.
But also, I mean, is it unfair that the system favors the best players? It's not. We generally want the best player to win, I assume, right? So.
Yeah, I guess most systems favor the best player. But I don't know. I kind of like it with this double elimination. It's just if Magnus cruises through, it feels strange if most of the action he's not involved in, because there are all these matches in the losers division and so on. But hard to blame him for that.
Yeah. Also, it's shorter. I mean, in terms of days, so you can get the attention of everyone for. I mean, before it used to be like 9 days or something with 3 days of qualifiers. I mean, it was way too long.
Well, one thing is shorter in terms of days. It also was shorter in terms of hours per day. I mean, sometimes the matches was finished like after less than 2 hours, right? I mean, it used to be like 4 or 5 earlier. So they
changed the time control from 15:10 to 15+3, and there's also no more regular start times. So it's all a bit little accelerated, but I think it's fine.
I learned that this 15+3 from you, Jan. Thank you. Last week.
Anytime. Okay, we should give a shout out to Fabian Caruana, who won the second division. That I thought was a bit of a pity. They have the second division running at the same time, and it has amazing players like Nepomniachtchi, Caruana, Kramnik, Dubov. I don't know who else was in there, but it's basically you could easily make.
Kachuk, Svidler?
Svidler, I think, was in third division, maybe. Were they both? Okay. I think they were both in third.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, somehow that's a pity, right? Because, you didn't get to see it much because of the finals. Or, well, it becomes a choice, but still. I would also say that we should remember that Caruana, qualified for the knockout quite, safely. Then he lost somewhat unluckily to Sarana, and then he cleaned up in the second division. He actually had a very impressive tournament.
Also, if you guys think that Caruana is weak in rapid and blitz, we should remind you that he once beat Nakamura in a rapid and blitz match.
Yeah.
When nobody expected it.
No. He is a force to be reckoned with. But, I mean, like that, he qualified for the next first division, right? So, at the moment,
Are you sure?
Magnus and the 3 US players who are qualified, right?
The top 3 of the Division 1 and the winner of Division 2. So, Magnus, Hikaru, and Fabian.
So, next time there will only be 4 spots up for grabs, not 6 for the big qualifiers.
Your math is impeccable.
I think so. Well, also, I was really impressed with you, 16% maths.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got some help.
I imagine, but yeah. But that's generally great. Laurent, you're going to give it a shot next time, qualify?
If I'm available, I will go.
Sorry, yeah.
I will go. I will play.
Okay.
No, last time I was traveling to Bundesliga, so that was not exactly exactly great. But yeah, why not? 10 plus 2, I like this. I'm like Kramnik, I'm feeling. I don't think it's normal to flag. People already complained about the guy who who advised Mr. Doji to play to make his tournament without increment. I think this guy is here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Just call me an old and grumpy French guy.
You actually have influence on Mr. Doji. He's supposed.
Times have changed. Times have changed.
No, but he prides himself on being a tournament dictator, and then he comes for you for advice. It doesn't really
it
fit.
became one.
Every dictator needs some henchmen to tell him what they wants to hear.
You're the hand of the king. Wow. Okay.
I'm Grimar Wormtongue.
So why not? Why? Okay, Peter doesn't want to play, but Jan, you should try as well.
For sure.
It's rapid. 10 minutes plus 2.
No, I'm tempted to play as well. Will am I guaranteed to qualify for the 3rd division?
No,
not at all.
No. Oh, okay.
You are guaranteed not to qualify for the 3rd division.
Okay. And then
you have to make +1 to make it to the 3rd. I mean, you had to make +1 to make it to the 3rd division in the last round. Which +1?
That's not going to happen.
It's not impossible.
I have played World Blitz twice when seconding Magnus. I was allowed to play the Blitz when I was traveling with him. We thought, okay, he doesn't need held anyway. And my ambition was at some point in one of the tournaments to get to +1. And no, I never managed. So yeah, it's tough.
But you made your bingo.
I made my bingo instead. That's true.
Yeah, but it's too difficult. I mean, okay, with Magnus.
But it's not like for those who does very badly. It's not like they go into another knockout bracket where the losers go on to sort of who is the worst player.
No, they make something.
They don't have this.
No, people who are doing very badly, they are going to another bracket, which is called the rage quit.
Yeah. That's true.
You just quit. You just quit the tournament, and that's it.
No, but I promised Laurent I will play one of the qualifiers at some point.
Let's play the same one.
Yeah, exactly. We should play the same one.
I will tell you, and we'll make we can make a bet.
You have a lifetime score. I mean, you're the one who has the best lifetime score against me. You can actually risk that.
No, I'm not risking much.
Okay, fair enough.
Speaking of availability of French players for tournaments, Alireza Firouzja has mentioned, he was asked on a Twitch stream, what is happening with his career in fashion, denied by Laurent Fressinet on last week's episode. And he said, yeah, it's a serious thing. And he's planning to split his time between fashion and chess. First of all, good for him. Pursue what makes you happy, Alireza. But of course, we have a bunch of questions.
So invite us to one of the next show. I don't know. I mean, how does that work?
He said he's been taking classes, I believe.
Yeah.
Fashion classes. And of course, what I want to know is, how do fashion classes work? Maybe Peter can fill us in. But I would imagine you don't start at the top, right? You don't design like sneakers immediately. You first have to learn like some basic stuff, like knitting. I could see Alireza sitting there trying to knit a nice sweater. Or how can I picture fashion classes, Peter?
Well, I think that you're getting completely wrong. I mean, knitting is sort of production. I assume that he's more, designing things rather than actually producing them. That would be my hunch, at least. But
don't you have to know the production in order to design them?
That I wouldn't think so. But also, I was checking a bit out, and for instance, you could take some AI courses. I mean, now AI is you have neural networks doing chess. You also have neural networks creating fashion and stuff like this. So there could be many angles like this. I'm sure he's doing some
deep search.
Exactly. You will put your Indians overnight. They will look at maybe we can make this dress or this cool shirt, and then you look at it in the morning and say, no, that didn't work or something like that. But
is that cheating if Alireza sells his sneaker drawings to Balenciaga? And he got help from ChatGPT?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, but...
probably it's fine.
Yeah, I would guess so. I think only it's in the world of sports that you're not allowed to sort of use computers or drugs or whatever. I mean, it's in the other things you can be freely creative, I think. So, I haven't actually Googled it, but I will be reasonably sure you can find some course on fashion if you're that motivated. And as you said, you had a lot of free time, right?
I have a lot of questions, but we should ask Laurent, of course, as a connoisseur of the Paris high life. How is the fashion industry? Like, what's Alireza doing?
I have no clue. I mean, I discovered that. I mean, I'm never lying on this podcast, first of all. So that is very important. So I didn't know, simply. I mean, like, it never came into my conversations with him.
And when your friend Jan brings it up, you think I'm just making it up.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I will admit I'm somewhat puzzled that we have talked about it earlier on the podcast. If that's so, I have very much missed it. But okay, that goes for most things, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's
all right. It's mutual.
Yeah, okay, you have better info than me. I mean, I couldn't really. I thought it was a joke or a troll or something, but yeah, why not? I mean, you have to. I don't know why not. I mean, if he likes it, then
but are you happy for him that he's pursuing his dream, his passion? Or are you a little sad for chess, French chess?
But I don't think he said he will do both. I mean, as we know, when you are a professional chess player, I mean, not like us who are doing videos, working hard, commenting on chess, coaching, doing everything at the same time. But when I was only playing chess, my life was much more enjoyable. I mean, I had plenty of free time.
So you're saying he will be like all these other top 10 players that work a second job?
You basically
think it will be a second job?
Well, what you're saying is your life was much more enjoyable before you started working with me and Jan.
I was less busy, for sure. I mean, like, I could play my own tournaments anyway if I was working like 4 hours or 6 hours a day. It wouldn't change much my results.
Never lied on this podcast, was working 4 or 6 hours a day.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was not working. I mean, when I was a professional chess player, only playing for myself, I was not. Let's face it. I mean, I will tell to the listeners, I was not working a lot. I mean, I was sometimes doing nothing for a week. I mean, the life of professional chess player, I mean, it's pretty normal. You just go to the tournament, especially in pre-computer era. I mean, I work when computer was not so strong. I mean, it was not that important to work in between tournaments. I mean, you could just play blitz.
So you're saying also to become world champion for Alireza, he doesn't really have to work.
No,
I mean, it's fine with the chess and class, fashion class.
I mean, look, do you think that MVL is busy working all day long?
Do you think MVL will be world champion?
I think I'm sure that MVL became world number 2 and was 28-16. So I think you don't need to work like 10 hours a day to be world number 2. And
there you go. You heard it here, kids. You don't have to work on your chess.
You better do. I mean, it's better, but I don't think you need to work. I mean, some people are just more talented than others. What can I'm just stating the obvious.
And also all these very talented people, they did put in their, 15,000 hours. And I'm sure so did Alireza playing blitz nonstop and working nonstop. If at some point you can work less, I'm sure it's the same for Magnus, for example, that he was completely obsessed as a teenager. And now he has time to hang out with the Chessbrahs and go drinking and then crush the Champions Chess Tour. But I don't know, it can't be good for his world championship chances. But if he feels that's what he wants to pursue in life, I think we should congratulate him, frankly. I mean, he doesn't owe anything.
I don't think it. I mean, it's not bad for his world champions dreams if he does it for a while. I mean, also, Fischer did so. He was just out of chess for some years and came back and was the best, right? I mean, it's not.
I would guess he looked at chess. While
I have no clue, to be honest. I mean, he was.
Neither.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, what I want to say is, you said at some point he might have to choose between chess or fashion. I mean, well, I think we all agree that chess is not, the top of the ladder in prestige. Imagine he would be the best in fashion and the best in chess. He would actually choose fashion, right? The ceiling is higher in fashion than in chess, I guess, right? Or
yeah, but if you start as a number 3 in the world in chess and as a beginner in fashion, I mean, chess is still tempting.
I get your point that someone might tell him that, well, let's calculate the odds here. Maybe, it's 60-40 as we spoke of before, but still, go for the 6. I get your point, but just, I mean. So
you should start, Jan. Now it's your time. I mean, you have this already, this very good taste for sneakers.
Thank you.
Sneakers.
Thank you.
Except you didn't like the Balenciaga sneakers of Alireza, which I really liked. So I don't follow you there, but you have better taste than me overall. So I think you should start. I mean, your odds are very good to go there.
I do not disagree. Maybe I can take some classes together with Alireza. I'll come to Paris. We can brush up on our French together. Like the classes are in French, probably. Yeah?
How did you know? By the way, this is very suspect. It's very sus, chat. It's very sus. I mean, how did you know? How did you come up with this fashion course?
I mean, my little birds.
I think
your little birds.
He talks to people. That helps. I mean, he also had some weird rumors from Weig. I didn't, for instance, pick up and stuff like this. I mean, he's just...
yeah.
I think...
He has new, let's say... he has new friends, yeah?
For sure. In this Weig breakfast room, information flows very freely after Peter left.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah. No. So, yeah, it's not... Yeah, we'll see.
It's a bit puzzling. I guess everybody expects it to go away, right? But, I mean...
Yeah. Maybe it's just a business move. Maybe it's just looking to partner with a big fashion brand and then take the chess world by storm.
Yeah, I mean, no, I like it. It has this, not crazy, but sort of eccentric, vibes to it, right? It's, I mean, no, if it pulls it off, he's going to be a legend, right? And so why not aim for that? So
sure.
But his chess was not that impressive, or maybe he just looked good on camera. I don't know, but.
No, in the qualifier he was good, but then he lost the first two matches. I mean, basically he was out immediately, so it was not very, very impressive against Eric Gazy and another youngster. I can't remember too many games.
Sarana, maybe.
Maybe he lost to Sarana as well. Yeah, so
was a bit puzzling, if anything, right? I mean, but
yeah. That was not impressive.
No, I mean, in the qualifiers, he seemed to have his decent class, and suddenly it collapsed a bit. But let's see. Okay. How old is he? He's turned 19?
He's born in... he will... yeah, of course. He's born in 2003.
So over to Jan and the math department. Okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm.
In June, he will be 20. So...
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's time to make a move in a way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all had our shit in order with 19.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's just he can still beat the record of Magnus, no? To be the youngest world champion.
Every 19-year-old guy.
Yeah, so that's not too bad. Yeah, it's not completely unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I like that he's mercurial. It's very, very hard to figure out what he does, but of course, for us chess fans. Could be sad news, but wishing you the best. I watched every episode of Emily in Paris, as we know, and I think it can be a great life.
I didn't watch any.
Highly recommended.
Last time you were recommending a French series, it was a disaster. It was this.
But I always recommend the crappy ones to annoy you. Lupin, I recommended. Emily in Paris.
Yeah, okay.
What's the best French series? Still? Le Bureau de Legend.
Le Bureau is unbeatable. Oh, it's beatable, but tough one.
Baron Noir is not as good?
Baron Noir, yeah, it's close. Both are very good.
That's actually, I mean, French series are good, Danish series are excellent, German, not really, right?
Danish series are...
German humor and creativity doesn't always translate to TV.
No. They kick ass in podcasts, though, but yeah.
I don't know. People like this series. Dark, I hated it. It was
no clue.
So rainy, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, but we have a movie nominated for the Oscar. No.
Wow.
It's a nice war movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Very depressing.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what's called. Nothing New on the Western Front. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Speaking of sort of big US things, I mean. The Super Bowl, none of us cares, right? I mean,
what are you talking about? My boy Mahomes on his way to becoming the GOAT.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you do care, I see.
Not really. I accidentally listened to one of my basketball podcasts and they talked about the Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
But no, I didn't watch it. I didn't see the halftime show. Nothing.
No, me neither. Somehow, For me, baseball is the big sport. For you, it's basketball, right? And Laurent, he probably cares about.
For Laurent, it's Tinder.
Yeah.
No, tennis. Laurent is a tennis guy.
Yeah, I'm tennis and following soccer. I'm very worried, actually. We are talking I don't know why it will come out Wednesday. So I'm very worried for Paris against Germans, friends from Bayern, Freunde from Bayern Munich, Bayern München. I think we're screwed. We are losing one match after another. Mbappe is injured. He might come, but he might come back. We're not sure. So I'm very worried for tomorrow. Yesterday. So I think we lost yesterday.
Back to the exciting happenings in the chess world. The Pro Chess League is returning. Magnus Carlsen and Anish Giri are teaming up for the Chessbrahs team. That's exciting news.
That's like we are teaming up. This is weird.
Exactly. We can all root for the Chessbrahs.
That's going way too far, actually. No, we are not.
As far as I understand, only one of them is playing the next round, right? So maybe at least they will not play at the same time.
I don't know. Maybe Anish can make a quick draw in Dusseldorf and sneak in some Pro Chess League.
I think that we saw that with the European teams, right? Yeah. Maybe he's just...
No, the Chessbrahs are friendly, but...
Yeah, no.
Bench.
But, I generally like what chess.com is doing. I understand that it's my boss is involved and stuff like this, but... like with both the tour and also the chess league, they are really trying to make some kind of traditions in a way, right? And to try to create some kind of it reminds you of the US sports system where it's a mixture of show but also all the best players and stuff like this. Or you think I'm interpreting it wrongly? You look like I said something completely wrong for a change.
No, I mean, the completely revamped tour format, I think, is early to call it a tradition, but it might work. Like it's worked in esports as double element and so on. But
well, they're trying to set it up, is my point. For any kind of tradition, some year has to be the first, right? But it seems that they have this idea of making, solid structures, having a tour, having a chess league, and maybe they had that for a long time. I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, Pro Chess League was around for a while, then it was on a hiatus. Now it's back. I don't know. Lots of stuff happening.
You're right, they are doing things, they are very consistent. Even this Title Tuesday, everyone knows now about Title Tuesday. You have to create the habit like every Tuesday, you have this, now there's 2 tournaments, but it used to be 1. And at least they are very consistent. Every year they deliver something, and you can expect Pro Chess League and Title Tuesday every week, every Tuesday, of course.
But I think what I also mean is both the tour and the chess league is something that you can basically enter, and if you're good enough, you will work your way up through the system, right? So it's not like invitational based. It's actually, a fully sort of functional league system based on skills.
Yeah, there is a second league and so on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. You can qualify, but it's weird that there is no norms. But Magnus traditionally played for them. Before.
Isn't it run by Hammer?
Like 4 or 5 years ago, he was playing with them. I was actually, I joined at some point.
They also had the president of the Norwegian Chess Federation, no? Yeah.
And Niemann, the
Niemann was also there. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, but so Magnus came back in the Pro Chess League, but not for the Norway norms, where I think he used to play for like 4 or 5 years. I don't know. Something like that. So yeah.
It is normal that the big star changes teams. It's only like Mbappe who is very loyal, right? It's seen before that you go
and me to the French team. I'm very loyal as well.
National teams is a bit different.
Not in chess.
How does this chess league works? It's group stage and then into knockouts, or how is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how it works. I'm not sure if they will have a round final in person somewhere there some years ago in San Francisco.
My feeling was that it was very popular some years ago and then somehow it faded away. Is it just because I only care when Magnus plays, or is it the right sort of feeling?
Well, it was probably more popular when it happened. In the years where it didn't happen, it was less popular, but I don't quite recall.
No, not
when the last year was.
Okay.
No, but it's always the same.
There was also COVID and probably tough to hold finals in person and so on, right?
Yeah, but it's always a plus when Magnus is playing. It's clear that it gives more attraction to the tournament, to every tournament.
But canceling an online event because of COVID sounds weird, to put it mild. But yeah, so okay.
No, the big in-person final.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
But yeah, that's returning.
Should be cool, at least. None of your guys are playing, right?
No.
We should have a chicken chess club team, actually, right? I mean, just...
But the problem is we're all terrible value for this team, no? We're high rated, old and slow.
That is true.
They have the salary cap that you have to have a certain rating average, no? So we really can't be on the team. Like, you either need top players or underrated, hungry youngsters. Or online
Wesley.
It's discrimination,
We
right?
should get Wesley as a captain.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. What's the best chicken chess club team? Wesley, we can see if we get Anish from the Chessbrahs. I'm not sure. Who else is out there? There's no women's sport, right? Harika, shout out to Harika. 10 draws, 1 win in the women's Grand Prix. Big fan.
Is there no young talents who are very chicken? Not really.
There must be many out there. I have to check.
At some point, I thought Kama is a chicken, but he's actually not, right?
He's the opposite of a chicken, actually. Yeah.
He just seems nice, so that confuses me. There's really, I mean,
I don't know.
Are you basically saying that the chicken chess club is going to go extinct? There's no one who is sort of...
It might have gotten tougher getting good at chess.
Maybe you're right, yeah. Maybe simply we are not evolution fit in a way, not the end result.
I mean, Prague, he could become a chicken. He's not a chicken, but he has a style. Sarin is a chicken.
Sarin is maybe a little chicken, yeah.
Yeah, Sarin is Sarin is playing very, 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 very tight. I mean, Sarin is clearly, of course, amazing at blitz, but in this classical, he's a bit of a chicken. Let's face it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the typical chicken style where he's super theoretical and happy to force draws with black. But sometimes he's a little tight in decisive moments, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, it's true that compared to Gukesh and so on, who are just fighting till the very end. Okay. So I don't know.
Let us know who we should have on the chicken team. We need some underrated 2100 chickens. Anyway, we didn't cover the women's Grand Prix yet. Congratulations to Alexandra Kosteniuk, who crushed the field as far as I could see. Peter has some.
That is a bit strong, but I think
she led from start to finish at least. No, I'm not sure how.
She led from start to finish, but yesterday she was generally dead lost against Conero for quite a while. Who would have caught her then? But she managed to survive that in a way. But it becomes a matter of definition. I cannot.
No, well, that's fair.
I cannot argue against that. She was leading from start to finish, and she won the tournament. That is I could try to argue against it, but I would be factually wrong. But yesterday it looked like that she would be caught, and today I think she even lost, right? But I think she won deservedly. She was fighting incredibly hard. I think someone in the questions asked me to say something nice about her openings. I think I don't know if it was ironic, because she actually had quite a lot of bad positions, but managed to fight back incredibly well, was my impression. But I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, me neither. But congratulations to her. I'm not going to explain it to you.
I didn't follow that closely.
You didn't follow? Okay.
To be fair. I didn't follow much. I saw that Alexandra won, and congratulations to her. She's Parisian. So this is good for Paris. I mean, she's living in France now. So.
But she's she will represent Switzerland in the future, right?
I don't know.
Okay, you're really... Yeah.
Is she?
Yes.
You're not following Peter on Twitter?
Well,
I did follow Peter on Twitter, but yeah, okay.
Sure, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, apparently we haven't followed the Women's Grand Prix that much in Munich. Or someone was also saying...
No, I checked again.
Yeah, so did I, and I thought it was quite interesting. Someone was complaining that it's put at the same time at the Champions Chess Tour, and somehow it creates a clash for viewership. I don't know if that's a fair complaint.
Yeah, the numbers looked. I saw that screenshot too. They looked a bit extreme, but yeah, what can you do? There's always a lot of stuff happening in the chess world. I'm not sure,
especially with new Germans event. I mean, this is crazy. When was the last? Dortmund is every year, but yeah, now we have new Germans.
Chess Classic.
You think that they have been massively underrepresented compared to all the French tournaments? Or?
No, that's true. But yeah, it's a bit surprising, no? Why not? I mean, no, it's not surprising, but it didn't happen. Like, when was the last time they organized a new tournament in Germany or in France, actually?
Grenke Chess Classic.
Well, I mean, Grenke Chess Classic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. On the other hand,
but
I mean,
okay.
Germany is quite active on the chess front. Is my impression, right? I mean, they organize. I mean, they also had the FIDE Grand Prix last year in Berlin, if I remember correctly, right? Maybe even the final leg. And now the women's here, and as you mentioned,
Even candidates, yeah?
There's also this World Chess Armageddon thing coming to Berlin. This new series, now they just had this women's tournament in Munich. There's Dusseldorf. Some stuff happening. But yeah, it's a big country. A lot of chess fans. We just aren't very good at it. Except for Vinny. Shout out to Vinny.
Yeah. That's all you need, yeah, to make it perfect. So.
Yeah, that tournament starts on Thursday. I think I mentioned Nepomniachtchi, Giri, So, Aronian, Abdusatorov, Duda, Gukesh, Keimer, Prag, and Yesipenko. So, pretty young field, once again. Will be interesting to see Nepomniachtchi warming up for the World Championship match.
What's your prediction?
With the same time control. Okay, I'm, of course,
you think
biased. I mean, you think Anish can be not winning a super tournament? That's hard to believe for me.
Yeah, maybe. You just think that 2023 is just going to be his year. He's going to clean up all the stuff, yeah? No.
I mean, Nepomniachtchi is going to be holding back, trying to play himself in shape. Wesley, once he reaches +2, he'll be happy. Levon looked peaceful in Vike. Abdusatorov might score +5.
He might scare you a little
That's
bit,
gonna
right?
happen. Abdusatorov, he's there.
Duda? Could be, yeah.
Duda, yeah, could go either way. I hope he's fine here to take a break from Vike, but maybe he was just playing too much. Cancelled that one, but now he's back in action. And I think the kids, maybe I shouldn't call them the kids, but it's hit or miss now. They're off to a good start. And this field is at least maybe slightly softer than Vike, is also slightly shorter, slightly less taxing. So I find it very hard to say who's going to do well. Gukesh, Keimer, Prag, Yesipenko, Abdusatorov.
But Laurent, are you willing to take a bet with me where I get Giri and you get only one specific player? Is there someone who is a bigger favorite than Giri in this tournament?
How many super tournaments won Wesley and how many super tournaments won Gay? I mean, can you count? Or how does that work?
I can't count.
I mean, Wesley is a machine. He's a machine.
What's the last super tournament Wesley won?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know you don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, well, I mean, the last tournament Giri won, I mean, we all remember this is the only one, and it was like a few weeks ago. Yeah. But it's only one. I mean, Wesley, it was a normal situation to see him winning in Sinquefield Cup or in US Championship or in Vaikanze. He won as well. He won many of them.
Okay, I'm not going to go against Wesley to defend Anish. Wesley, you're my boy. Rooting for you.
So, no, you think that Wesley won less? I think he won between 5 and 10.
Well, he won 4 in a row in 2016, 2017. I'm not sure if many after that US Championships for sure. No, he's incredibly stable. He sometimes stops himself because I often thought he would crush through. When he reaches +1, +2, he becomes so tight that sometimes he doesn't win.
I mean, he has to somewhat try, right? I mean, in Vike, I thought he had pretty good chances to win if he had given it a shot. Yeah. He just, he obviously didn't try. I mean, it's as simple as that.
But the field is very good for him. The field is very good for him. Now I'm looking at it. I mean, he can win many games there. So I don't think Nepo will do well, actually.
These youngsters, they listen to our podcast. They know what to do, right?
I mean, Nepo will do poorly in my opinion. He should be happy with 50%.
Okay.
No, I think he will just be nervous about his match and will, just play fast. And I don't think it's good for him to play before the match.
So they make a time control that has to fit exactly the match, and then he just plays quickly. You think it's?
I mean, it's what he did with Magnus, no?
Maybe.
The match?
Yeah, I thought he learned from that experience.
Oh, of course.
So also, I mean, well, why not enjoy Laurent predicting Nepom's openings? He's just going to do like Dink and play the opposite? Or is he going to play the real deal? Or?
In the match, I am pretty sure he will go for Petrov and what he was doing. I mean, like, we still don't know, yeah? Against Knight F3, Knight C3, he didn't show, yeah? Maybe Ragozin.
Nah, he's a Semitarash Moino, like everybody. He's had quite a few games.
Okay, Semitarash, yeah? He didn't play some magazine as well?
But it would also be odd to now play the Najdorf in Dusseldorf cunningly, then to return to the Petrov. I mean, it's not like Ding's not going to look at the Petrov. He might as well play.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll see. Yeah. But I don't think he will do well.
But we basically think that, the Petrov and Nepom, they just made a deal, and he basically thinks match candidates, Petrov is just going to last, right? Yeah, he thinks it's... kick.
Well, he has like +6 with the Petrov. I mean, he's just crushing.
Yeah, it would be strange to stop.
Yeah, he lost only one game, I think, with the Petrov against Magnus, which had nothing to do with the opening, actually.
I disagree.
What? 92? It hit him like a hammer. Yeah. He was much worse out of the opening.
Yeah, because he played one move too fast.
That was the idea. No?
Yeah, because he was out of book.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what do you want? I mean, if you don't praise us for that, what do you want us to do? I mean, do we have to review the Petrov actually, or?
Anyway, I guess people don't know.
Okay, we have to buy his French recordings to see what he actually means.
Please.
Anyway,
starting with Chennai.
That's true. So there's a bit of a run up there, but basically, Yesipenko is a new guy of the somewhat youngsters compared to Wijk, right? Else it's Gukesh, Kema, and Prek is the same. Up to Satov as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yesipenko had a very good start in the top tournaments in Wijk when he beat Magnus and did a very good score, but then somehow he lost a bunch of rating. Now I think, I don't know, I will be corrected by Jan, but I don't think he's 2700 anymore. So... yeah, let's say it's a good chance for him. I will check his rating before saying something stupid. I think it's 2680 or something. But.
Yeah, I think he fell below, but he also had a rough stretch personally. From what I heard, I think he's a much stronger player.
No, he gave a tough time to Magnus. I remember it was one of the highlights in the World Cup, where Magnus praised him after that match, which was incredibly close. I mean, you didn't expect Magnus to have such close match against such a young player.
Yeah, I saw him playing in Sieges there. He was struggling a bit, but we all know how well he can play. Gotta be interesting to see him in such a super field. He had 7 guys from Wijk, and then Nepomniachtchi, Duda, and Yesipenko added. No Magnus, but should still be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I have one more random topic, which it's very random. I'm not sure if you guys have anything off the top of your head. I want to do a list of the top 50 chess games of all time, which is, of course, highly subjective. So I got 0 games so far, and I was hoping you could name 1 or 2 good games. What's the first one that comes to mind? Kasparov, Topalov? What's the first game people think of?
Yeah, for me, it's Kramnik Fressinet. No, I'm just kidding. It was a good game, though. You should have
prepared by Richie? Yeah, that was
My favorite game is the 16th game in the 85 match between Karpov and Kasparov. Just full domination with the knight on d3, you remember? I think it's from concept. I mean, there is no like sharp tactics or anything, but it's just this Kasparov gambit with d5, and then you just play without a pawn. You can take it back, but you don't do it. You just play for a dynamic play, and you just crush. You're just crushing his opponent right, left, and center, Kasparov. I mean, it's also a World Championship game, whereas I think the match was... I can't remember the exact score, but I guess it was close. So that game is my favorite, actually. Just brilliant. To my standards, this is the way I want to play chess. But
okay, yeah,
I'll put on the list.
You come very close. I mean, on a daily basis. Yeah. Okay, that just sorry.
No, I mean, if you ask me how do you want to play chess, I don't want to make like the sharp tactics, or I want to like to outplay my opponent like this,
Yeah,
like,
that would be nice.
You don't need to calculate. I mean, that would be...
But you need it to happen before move 21.
Also, I mean, you are limiting us to human games, or can I come with a bunch of correspondence?
You can name all your favorite Fat Fritz Koivisto games.
Even weird correspondence games, I have a couple that I am completely in love with. But no, I mean, I would also perhaps go to a Karpov, Kasparov. I mean, There was some of Karpov's win. I think one, he plays extremely well on the light squares. I mean, he plays like 24 moves in a row on the light squares, which I was quite impressed with, but maybe it's not fully up there in a way. There must also be some Magnus games, but of course,
I mean, the recent game against Naumann was a big fun. I mean, to sacrifice all these pawns, I checked with the computer, probably it's just equal, but I mean, the concept is just brilliant. You just all the pieces are stuck there. It's giving all these pawns. It's a very beautiful game.
Naumann.
So Karpov, Kasparov, and Carlsen Naumann.
You didn't see the game?
I saw the game. Scotch was a nice game.
Yeah, it was a very nice game, no? I mean, like a concept. I mean, it's the kind of games I like, but I don't know. Of course, Kasparov Topalov comes to mind. Yeah,
But you have a very
absolutely.
Have a very aggressive style, then, Laurent, right? I mean, it has to be bam sort of sacrifices and stuff like this. You don't like, or you thought the first one with knight d3 perhaps was more positional in a way.
Yeah.
For instance, I like also, Kasparov won a very nice sidestep where he played this king h2 and prepared his big attack. But, I mean, to answer these things seriously, you probably have to look at the games again with modern computers, right? I mean,
I don't think you have to. It can be subjective. It's also in the spirit of the times and so on. And if you say, computer says this move was wrong out of the opening, I'm not sure if it's the greatest accuracy is what makes the games great.
What about what Vichy mentioned at maybe the opening ceremony? His game with Aronian from Wyke?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Should get on top 50, I guess.
Well, the way Vichy sold it, like his dramatic arc was that he couldn't remember his prep, but then he fortunately remembered the knight, gets to d3, and he figured out how to get it there. I mean, makes it slightly less cool, still very aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. But of course, someone had looked at this before.
I was his second at the tournament, so I'm pretty sure we had, yeah. But
so it's you.
Not exactly, but I was there at least. But it's true. It becomes a bit weak. We cannot. Well, I mean, there must be some Fischer game we think was spectacular. But
yeah, it's a topic. I'm not pretending to be ignorant. I've never really thought about it because I think we're all not that attracted by whatever you want to call it, beauty in chess, and are more results oriented or looking at the skills. But it's very unclear to me what games would be on the list. Also, you can have the usual historical debate.
Do you consider like this famous Kasparov Portish game where he just bishop h7, bishop g7? Do you like such? I mean, I think it was a beautiful game, no?
Frankly, I don't know which game you mean.
Me neither.
It's bishop h7 and then he's going bishop g7. The next.
That theme I've heard of, bishop h7, queen h5, bishop g7, but I don't recall that particular game. I'll look it up.
I think it's Kasparov Portish for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, my nice games also. Big favorite of my youth was Kasparov Kramnik, this Semislav Marin.
Kramnik.
Beats Kasparov with black.
That's a very good game, yeah.
Many nice games out there, but I think it's probably not a coincidence we're naming a lot of Kasparov games because that's what we grew up with. Yeah, the era when we were young and impressionable, and probably that's not the only criteria for these lists.
No, well, it's strange. I thought Magnus played a lot of incredibly good games, but at the moment I struggle to just mention one that stands out in a way.
He's also so good at like moving his pieces towards the king, not giving up any pawns, and then checkmating. It's flashier if you give a couple pieces along the way.
Well, of course, Magnus is maybe also more a sportsman. He grinds people down. He do it in a sort of sportsman manner rather than Kasparov could blow them off. He starts with a great opening and then comes logically from there. Somehow it's a bit of a different time these days.
But Magnus also had a lot of great start to finish games. I think so. It's just
he had a lot of positional masterpieces.
The age when we were chess fans that we can't recall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's interesting that should we name the top 50 players? It's extremely easy. I mean, we will make some mistakes, something will be debatable, but of course the names comes up. The games, it's much more random and difficult. Mm-hmm.
Completely. Yeah. And there are some books like this Mammoth book of the world's greatest chess games, but I don't think it's much of a debate. That said, probably it's too random. And personally, I wouldn't rank this, whatever they call this, immortal and the evergreen game very highly. Resistance is so low and there are so many blunders, but of course they are beautiful and for the times they are masterpieces. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I know very little. So please tweet at Chicken Chess or whoever If you have some list or some thoughts about it.
You're basically doing the Laurent Trent trick, right? Basically, what is a good game from this tournament?
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
but I also don't know.
No, it's fair enough.
Does Magnus, you remember this London system against Tomaszewski? I thought it was very impressive, but maybe it's not. Rook f6 at some point, just mating the guy. But yeah, that looks too easy, no?
You just want give you a nice tactic, right? That's it, yeah.
Was a nice game.
Yeah, but also, he took down Adams when he was very young in a very long, beautiful ending with 2 bishops. Do we really rate something that much lower? And then, Rook f6 against Tomaszewski.
I like that game. All the bishop f1s, bishop g1s, all this stuff. That's beauty to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Bishop pair, move them backwards, control some squares.
Can you name one but winning game that belongs there?
I don't know. It also goes what you rank highly. No, Botvinnik Capablanca is a nice classic. Also showed us how to play that Rubinstein structure.
We have your games later showing that the structure is good for black, right?
For white.
Oh, sorry, for white. Okay,
for white.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
I heard that Blitz game Botvinnik played on a train was excellent. I'm not sure.
No.
Couldn't publish. No, maybe one has to do it player by player. No, like just choose all the great champions or take our top 50 list. And pick a game or a couple games.
Well, also that there is no. What Fischer? Can you actually name one game that stands out?
Well, he played this immortal game against Robert Byrne.
Yeah, maybe right.
Called. It's a bunch of flashy tactics. It's not that complicated. Queen sacrifice.
No,
but I think that's.
But that's also.
The game people point to
take this as a highlight. He was very young at the time, right?
It's just the flashiest because they sacrifice a bunch of stuff, but. I think Pic Laurent Fressinet would find all these moves.
The Benoni game against Fischer against Spassky in this 72 match.
But Spassky played so terribly at that point.
But it was.
No, but that's insulting to both. Basically, naming this as a great game, right? It's just. There's no struggle there. It's basically a broken person against someone who is.
Okay, it's game 6, no?
I understand, but yes, it's such a one-sided game, right? Broken is perhaps not the right word.
Okay, then it depends. You have to make clear the definition of.
But I think basically we don't actually have good suggestions present. We can come up with some random stuff, but.
No, I was shocked that I couldn't even think of like 10 great games. Well, I've seen tens of thousands of chess games, but I don't really have.
Well, I think it's more that we can think of a lot of games. But we don't feel comfortable saying they're good because we actually don't know, because we haven't really checked it or into details. We just, random. I think also Karpov wins a very nice Grünfeld against Kasparov. He wins several, but I haven't checked them, to be honest, so I don't know. No. Oh, it's a good question. Thanks for asking it.
You're welcome. Please help me. Twitter. Okay, looks like we're getting to everyone's favorite segment. Peter, are you mentally prepared for 5 minutes of FIDE?
As ready as I will ever get, I think. I even have, the level of preparation I have, I think Laurent has never been that prepared for a full episode. So,
it's probably true. Okay.
I think so, to be honest, yeah.
It's not even a joke. Okay. We will mute ourselves, yeah?
3, 2, 1, lift off.
Okay, we start out with still on the bigger scale. Ukraine is fighting against the IOC very hard at the moment. There is this basically, you could say, spin battle that Ukraine is pushing hard for, getting the world to say that, Russia is a terrorist state that cannot be part of the next 2024 Olympics in Paris. And it's clear that IOC is fighting quite hard back. Just a few days ago, I think Zelensky had an online meeting with 35 countries who seems to agree with what Zelensky thinks. But, I think that's basically the EU, United States, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and so on. Basically a Western bloc that seems to be on board with the Ukrainian arguments. But the IOC is fighting back in terms of they started lobbying. They're going to these countries' sports federation and telling them, we shouldn't mix sports and politics. And this basically becomes this, I think, interesting fight that, politicians have opinions about the Olympics. So you can say that is mixing sports and politics. But it's also from the sports federations like IOC, they make deals with politicians, like, Putin, the obvious example, but also we saw FIFA somewhere else. And so who is politicizing? But there's a big fight between Ukraine and IOC at the moment. It's interesting how it's gonna end. But of course, that's a big and important fight. In the FIDE world, I keep mentioning the Nigel Short traveling. He's been to Cape Verde and is going to Senegal soon to play singles. I think a reasonable question would be, what is the actual problem with what Nigel is doing? Isn't it just great that we are spreading chess to the world? And generally I agree so, but we should also remember that during Campomanes' reigns, we were very critical. We were saying that, basically, he travels the world, he travels to the small chess federations, not small in terms of countries, but small in terms of chess activities. And due to this one country, one vote, by starting project there, being the face of this project, the current regime gets a humongous strategic advantage to any kind of challenges in future elections that we have seen in FIFA. I can mention this FIFA movie once again, but in many federations. And that's kind of the problems, that when we're in opposition, we say, okay, this is actually campaign stuff, while when we're in power, we think we're just developing chess. Then we mentioned Kosteniuk winning the Grand Prix in Munich. She would really like to represent Switzerland, but she can't at the moment. She's actually sort of been very critical of Russia, both the Russian regime, the war and stuff like this. And she would like to play for Switzerland. She can't do it before 2025, or she can, but then she has to pay 10,000 euros to Russia, the Russian Chess Federation, and 5,000 euros extra to FIDE. And people are saying, aren't we just following the regulations when we enforce that? But I think these regulations are made for people who make sporting changes. They want, for instance, like Rapport, he moves from Hungary to Romania. Then it's perhaps reasonable that the Hungarian Chess Federation is compensated for their loss. Here, it's someone who wants to run away from a country that's, waging a war against a neighboring country. Are we actually enforcing that she has to pay 15,000 euros? Apparently we are, but I think really we shouldn't be. I could mention that today a lot of talks is in Moldova, that they are afraid of a Russian-backed coup. Again, I will mention the FIDE zonal president, Igor Dodon, is heavily involved in the sort of pro-Russian movement in Moldova, but let's leave it at that. Then we spoke about the tournament happening in Germany. It's called We Are Masters. We Are is Vadim Rosenstein. He has his company in Dusseldorf, but it's been incredibly linked to Russia. It's difficult to come up with all the connections because they have deleted all their Facebook book posts from the last couple of years. Also, their webpage has been completely changed. It's hard to find them, even you go to things like Wayback Machines. Things seems to be deleted. The logo was sort of their theme was logistics to Russia, and I think just a few days before the full-scale innovation started, they were launching a new joint project with Gazprom in Moscow and things like this. Vadim Rosenstein was also representing Russia chess-wise, not Germany at that time. And also in May, months after the full-scale innovation had started, he was playing a chess tournament together with Kayakin in Moscow. So there's been a lot of talks about, it's, at least semi-Russian money through the back door like this. But anyway, and I think the last thing is, that on the 24th of February, so the one-year jubilee of the full-scale innovation, there's going to be a debate in Berlin. The idea was to have someone who is critical of Russia in chess and someone who is more positive, like FIDE. But a bit like on this chess podcast, it's difficult to get some kind of dialogue going. So it's probably going to be me and some others shouting there. It's going to be me, Malcolm Payne, and Bayat, who will be part of the panel so far. But and we are all very critical of Russia, obviously. So we hope that, please, someone for FIDE, you should show up. Let's have the dialogue. It's a good chance to do that. But let's see. At least you can argue that the Chicken Chess podcast is setting a trend once again and having people stay away from this debate. And I've probably used all my time, so let's see if these guys will...
More than your time.
Okay. We generously gave you 6 minutes. Well, thank you so much, Peter.
I appreciate it.
Laurent, do you want your own corner?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Ah, really?
I'm good, thank you. No, I don't have any corner. I mean, come on, you are trying to corner me, but I don't do that.
No, I'm fighting back. It's different, but okay, fair enough. Okay. So, well, is that it, or do we have something?
Let's wrap up with one listener question. We're down to one listener, but he has questions, or he has one question. What career? Javier Krohn is asking. What career you think the top 10, to say a random number, GMs would have chosen if they wouldn't have chosen chess? Well, both Magnus and Alireza, we know, are into modeling. Magnus, G-Star model. And the older listeners might recall that campaign with Liv Tyler.
Yeah, but that is the other way around. Yeah. That's what's because he was a chess player. You think he would, if he wouldn't have been a chess player at all, he would be a model?
I don't know. I think he's probably too competitive. I'm not sure if he could. Not saying the world of male models is not very competitive. I've watched Zoolander. But no, I think of him as a sportsman. I mean, it could have been chess, could have been some other sport, but he would have come through. Like, he has that mindset.
It's actually very difficult to imagine some of the top 10 guys in some, normal jobs, like MVL, I think, okay, it's not top 10 anymore, but...
he's a mathematician. He basically is
he would do, exactly. He would do some IT or, I don't know, something similar. Giri, you could imagine, I mean, like being in an office, doing some... paperwork.
As an accountant, making sure the zeros stand in the end.
Yeah.
Some working in the bank, or lawyer, or something
that
like that.
Was also my dream before I discovered chess. So nothing wrong with that.
Nakamura could be good at streaming, maybe.
Yeah, but it's also. I mean, we are not taking it seriously. We basically think that. There's no. I mean, would any in top 10 have a real job? You think? I mean, could you?
For sure.
Vichy was doing some kind of education in business, right? Before he somehow became too good at chess, I think.
But now he came back to business, no?
Well, a lot of people started careers, so started studying something, or even finished studies. That's not too unusual, but I'm not sure if. Well, even we never pursued any careers. No, this chess is tricky.
Yeah, but that's also a bit of bias because many sort of dropped out. I mean, some point I thought, okay, I looked at these who tried to become chess professional, but did something else in Denmark, and quite some of them was very successful. So, no, are we really unable to suggest anything normal for anyone in top 10?
We've just suggested a bunch of things. Let's go through the list. Magnus, professional football player. Jan Nepomniachtchi. What would he be doing? But he's a gamer.
He's a gamer, I thought.
He's a gamer, yeah.
A Dota streamer.
Good luck with Ding.
Ding Liren. What would Ding be up to? Ding seems very, very down to earth, very smart guy.
He won the cooking competition in Norway, but I mean, I don't see him as
I don't see Ding as a
chef.
cook.
No.
I don't know Ding well enough to know what he's into.
Oh, but he's always doing his duty, and he could be a lawyer.
He'd be a great employee.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
I mean, he would.
Yeah.
I mean, he would not be at the absolute top, perhaps, but he would be very, very good and reliable, I think.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah. Anis?
Alireza, we know.
Yeah, that we know. Anis, well.
He's
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Anish we've covered. Hikaru we've covered. Fabi's a chess player, podcaster. Shout out to the much more successful C-Square podcast. I don't know. It's so hard to say. He's also just a smart, well-mannered guy who would be successful at everything, I believe.
Yeah, that's also my point. At some point, I thought, okay, Magnus is actually pretty smart. He could probably be more successful in other areas as well. It probably goes for most of them, right? They simply specialize so quickly and are good at it that it's hard to imagine. Fabiano has no education, right?
I think he went into chess at a very early age. Wesley probably finished studies in some field. No, wasn't he? He was at this university for a long time, but I don't know what his field was, to be honest.
Yeah. Could be a diplomat, huh?
For sure.
Negotiate with people,
Wesley would be a great diplomat.
Clever.
So friendly, well-spoken, mild-mannered.
Yeah.
I would like that. Vichy basically is a diplomat.
Business guy, yeah.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he was doing. Yeah, he would. So, and the next one, are we actually going to finish on that one?
Number 10 in the world we're not covering. We could go to Grishuk, number 12, professional poker player.
Is that a real job? It is, yeah. So.
It pays the bills for some people.
Yeah. Loses from others. Yeah,
at least in the old days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the professional implies you're making money, but I could be wrong. I believe that is it. Speaking of professional, we have this new brilliant scheme to become very rich with the Chicken Chess Club podcast. Our expert producer and mastermind behind the scenes has set up a Patreon page, patreon.com Chicken Chess Club. I think the deal is you give us money and you get nothing in return, but you can express wishes. Is that, did I understand that correctly?
I think basically they can move money from their pocket to ours. That's basically how it works. Yeah, and they get exactly the same as they always did. They just pay.
Yeah, but it's like subbing on Twitch. I mean, it's the same concept. You don't get more, but you get this to continue, first of all.
They have to pay to sub?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I have no clue. Okay.
No, we'll work on making this Patreon worth your while. Yeah, we are all great salespeople and business. But stay tuned for exciting Chicken Chess.
Thanks, and good luck in Dusseldorf.
Thanks. I know you mean
it. Sincere.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.